Now, I've already come clean and showed you all the evidence on why the child porn charges were bullshit. Now, let me explain something to you. Let me explain why this is important to you. Alright? Let's check this out. Those charges and those lies on that document, on that sworn document, on that arrest warrant, they did everything to cover up, addressed the fact that in my habeas corpus that it all goes back to the original delinquency case with Ashley, where she said she was coerced by her mom, the cop, and the prosecutor. And that was in my habeas corpus. That's why they rate coded up. The federal charges I'm on now were brought up by Judge Berger with the help of Magistrate Abelhausen, the ATF, and all these other people, her own admission. You can see that in the stuff in the court paper up below. And under that, I can literally show you where, to cover up the child porn case, which was brought up in the terroristic threats case, Kristen Keller falsified evidence, sent me to the psych ward. All right, now that's brought up in my 2255, my federal habeas corpus, and that's brought up on the paperwork. These bugs are bugging me. That I filed with the district court, and it's also brought up on the paperwork that I filed with the 4th Circuit. That puts everything in the perspective, because now we're going back to the terroristic threats case that I also was found not guilty of, and never lost my gun rights by West Virginia law, which is now being addressed in federal court, right along with the letters I wrote to Judge Berger, which I've put up from in Jersey, outside the jurisdiction of the 4th Circuit. Berger can't do shit to me about it. Ha ha. Fuck you guys. And you can see this chain going from that to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And then it goes back to previous cases, going back 17 years. But we don't need to go back that far. We just need to go back to when they falsified evidence that time. And then when they falsified evidence after that to cover it up, lied in court to cover it up, and then falsified more evidence and lied again more to cover that up, to get to this case right now dealing with the issue with the guns. If it goes back to the district court, Judge Berger's back to my original motion before her, where I was asking for all kinds of extra shit, because if she can abuse her authority to disrupt that lawsuit, admit to being a kingpin in a criminal conspiracy, I'll put the links below in the description, if she can do all of that to protect Kristen Keller, she can do all that to give me what I'm statutorily owed. Every fucking penny of almost $80 million. And the longer I spend up here in the halfway house, the longer I spend locked up in prison, is just more time that they have to pay me $3,000 a day. Tell you, before you know it, we might even be above $80 million, depending on how long they take. I have no problem putting this out there. No one's challenging it. It's just the facts. I'm not crazy enough to manifest court documents out of my mind. That would be insane. And, well, there's another surprise for everyone. West Virginia Code 61-7A-3, persons whose names are to be supplied to the Central State Mental Health Registry. Now, the first little thing we have up here under, I guess, to be paragraph A, is talking about those who have been abjugated to be mentally defective and committed to a mental institution. Now, we go down to B, we see that this registry is to be maintained with information provided by the State Supreme Court of Appeals, the superintendent of West Virginia State Police. Now, that's important, because that means Gilgerson, as a state trooper, should know that anyone who has been actually committed would be on the state mental health registry, and therefore on the NICS. And you can see in subsection B where it said that, they're to anyone who's been abjugated as mentally defective or committed. That's something different. We get down to subsection D here. It says the Central Health Registry shall contain the name, address, all the information of anyone committed. But then we get down to section E. It says the Central Health Registry shall provide information about this person to county sheriffs and the National Instant Criminal Background Check System as is necessary to identify registrants. And now we get to the fun part. 61-7A-4 confidentiality limits and use of registry information. Right here under subsection A, it says the superintendent of state police, the secretary of the Department of Health and Human Resources, circuit court clerks, and the administrator of the Supreme Court of Appeals may provide the the Central Health Medical Mental Health Registry and the National Instant Criminal Background Check System established pursuant to Section 103 subsection D of the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act, 18 U.S.C. 922, that person, one, which has been involuntarily committed to a mental institution, under blue, just because that's me, in the category of what they're claiming, but that's not what my commitment was about. It was a temporary commitment to regain competency based on the fact that, Kristen Keller lied, and they were all trying to cover it up, all the way up to the Fourth Circuit clerks. In fact, 18 U.S.C. 927, effect on state law, says that unless state law doesn't have it and federal law does, federal law can't trump state law in regard of how they want to manage commitments, and that means I was never committed to lose firearms rights. Fuck you, Phil. Another little federal law kick in the teeth, 28 U.S.C. 1738, state and territorial statutes, judicial proceedings, full faith and credit. Basically, this is in the Constitution that any state law or ruling has the full faith and credit of the United States of America, which means trying to commit me based on what your opinion of fucking shit is because you don't like me because I'm an asshole means you're wrong. Unless you can, show something that proves commitment in some sort of way, registry on the mental health, state mental health registry, which I wasn't, or not being able to pass the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, which I did.